Absolutely not. He's that Jesus Christ lizard running on water. Just no ball security, fake pitching at the end of a 40-yard run. Absolutely just diabolical behavior by QB1. But I love it. As long as he's running out of bounds, I don't care. Just don't take a hit. I just don't need that in my life.
Weekend Warriors. That was George Kittle, who's always got something interesting to say about his teammates.
I cannot wait for the George Kittle show whenever that airs. Whenever
I hope he plays forever. And Winston all together.
Oh my God! Set.
That's unbelievable. I mean, somebody needs to put that together. NBC, if you guys are listening, break out the checkbook. Jameis and George, come on. Tell me that's not a show. Tell me that's not must-see TV.
Yeah. Well, right now, Purdy and George was the show we got to see. Brock Purdy was awesome yesterday against the Titans, and George Kittle benefited from that, Jay. 88 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, I understand it was against the Titans, but that's the most kind of 2023 Niners-y they've looked, I think, all season. Purdy was on the move, slinging it, remind us he can move as well. So, yeah, it bodes well in a pretty favorable schedule the next 2 weeks at least. They go at the Colts on Monday Night Football and then home to the Bears. Those secondaries not particularly frightening. So, yeah, I think Brock Purdy and George Kittle should have a huge close.
Despite a loss for the Giants, Matthew, against your Commanders, Jaxson Dart and Tyrone Tracy finally getting some volume, and he looked good with it.
Yeah, I mean, that was the key. Like, we expect Jaxson Dart to do this against the Commanders. He's had at least 22 fantasy points in 3 of the last 4 and 5 of the last 7. Since week 6, he's the second best quarterback in fantasy football. And you like his game next week at home against the Vikings. But how about Tyrone Tracy, who very quietly has been a top 13 running back in 3 of his past 4 games. He's gotten at least 18 touches in each of those games. Huge game here in terms of the catch and everything like that. But, like, it feels like I'm hoping that, this 18-touch game for Tyrone Tracy carries on, and that they stop with the Devin Singletary nonsense.
He looked explosive, creative, everything.
And looked healthy. He came to the game with a hip injury. There was concerns there, but he looked like Tyrone Tracy. They play the Vikings, as I mentioned, next week. So I do think Tyrone Tracy is a viable flex next week in the fantasy playoffs.
Another duo, Jay. DJ Moore and DeAndre Swift, each with 2 touchdowns in this game. The Bears are so effective at running the ball.
Yeah, great individual game from DJ Moore, but I'd be selling this a little bit. Just not a high target. He only had the 5 targets. He's
in a game in which Rome Odunze was ruled out late.
Exactly.
During warm-ups.
Needed an all-time miracle throw connection with Caleb Williams in the end zone as well. DeAndre Swift, I think, is a bit more sustainable because this rushing offense just cannot be stopped. Super efficient against what had been one of the best rushing defenses in the league. And now they get, Packers without Micah Parsons, and then this Niners defense. So the thing about the Niners, they have one of the worst defenses in football. Like, they don't have any horses left, and they are doing it with all smoke and mirrors. I think the Bears are going to do whatever they want in that game.
I am not a huge DeAndre Swift fan, or I've not been throughout my career. I will say that one of the touchdown runs was unbelievable in this game. He's had a really good year. He's had a really, really good year. He's stunted the growth of Mike Collinsworth guy, who I love. Right. He doesn't get into the end zone in this one as well. But Swift was fantastic. 55% rush rate. He's now had 20 or more fantasy points in 2 of the last 3. Swift is somebody that I think obviously continues to be a borderline RB1.
Matthew, we brought up earlier how well Tyler Shuck is playing, and Cris Olave starting to really benefit from that.
He's had at least a 25% target share in 4 of the past 5 games. This is what we thought would happen when Rashid Shaheed went to Seattle, and that's exactly Cris Olave. Give Tyler Shuck credit. He is kind of gutty, and he does what we care about, get the ball to Cris Olave, who's been quietly one of the unheralded stars of fantasy football this year in terms of value at ADP, right? I mean, just everyone sort of kind of left him for dead, and he's continued to sort of PPR scam his way to relevance here. He's the 9th best wide receiver in fantasy as we head into Monday Night Football. Gets the Jets next week, your pathetic Jets.
Good matchup for Shuck to
awesome play call by Kellen Moore to end the game.
Both play callers have been great for the Saints, in my opinion.
Kellen Moore is not going to win a bunch of Coach of the Year votes, but he should be in the conversation because he's done an unbelievable job with that team.
Luckiest Coach of the Year.
Yeah, there we go.
Kellen Moore's done a gregreat job this year.
Yep.
Hand up, Jay. I thought Tony Pollard's week last week was a total one-off in fantasy, but effective. Not the same week, but effective again. Yep,
he's getting 70% of the carries.
Right.
The offense just looks much better as Cam Ward continues to grow in his rookie season. Now, I don't think the Niners' defense is particularly good.
No.
I think that was a big part of this, but he's getting the work.
Dallas Goedert, Matthew, a big week in the tight end landscape. 6 catches, 70 yards, and most importantly for tight end, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he was. And by the way, you like him to keep going against Washington. I was asked on the Football Night in America pod, we asked him the hero of various games, and somebody asked me, who is the hero of the Eagles game? And I said the schedule makers. Because they sent Las Vegas to them a week after a disaster on Monday Night Football.
Our last one here, Jay. J.J. McCarthy 2 touchdowns through the air, another one on the ground. Just tore up the Cowboys defense. A much better 2 weeks for JJ, who things have settled down a little bit. I don't know if it's sustainable for the rest of the year, but things look a lot better.
Were you in, I thought, yes, to the eye test, Connor, he looked much better.
The fourth down touch throw is what really gives you promise, because he's just not throwing fastballs all the time. He didn't look as panicky in the pocket.
He looked in control last night.
That's exactly right. Like the offense things are slowing down a little bit.
Better, but not there yet. I mean, like, he had Justin Jefferson on a crosser that he just completely overthrew him, which drove me crazy because I had, Justin Jefferson 50 yards. And if he hits Justin Jefferson's anywhere close, that cashes as well. There was the end zone target where he threw a fastball where it's just like, dude, take a little bit off of that, and that's a touchdown. But still, signs of life for J.J. McCarthy. I thought this was impressive. I don't know what you can do. Like, Justin Jefferson got 8 targets in this game and still 2 for 22. Again, killed my parlay last night. My best bet did hit. I had J.J. McCarthy over on the rushing yards. So my best bet did hit. We're 4 in a row on best bet on Sunday Night Football. But my parlay, I hit 2 of the legs, but the third leg, Justin Jefferson, 50 yards, did not get it, despite the fact he gets the 8 targets. In McCarthy's 8 starts this season, he's under 10 fantasy points. He's averaging just 9 fantasy points. They play the Giants next week. I just don't know what you do with Justin Jefferson.
I think you got to keep starting him
again. Yeah. 8 targets, and it's the Giants. I'd play him again.
Yeah, I know. I get it. But tough day at the office, that same game, with George Pickens, who now has back-to-back games with single-digit fantasy points and a below 20% target share in that game. Does it seem, Connor, that teams are suddenly basically saying, like, we're actually okay with CeeDee Lamb. We want to stop the big plays from George Pickens. That's where our defensive attention is going.
The pendulum has started to swing that way, where it's not, hey, George, just kill us while we shut down CeeDee. They've definitely allocated more attention to him over the top, tired of giving up those big plays. And, Dallas, at least that side of things, hit a wall for them a little bit. Yeah. Our next one, another duo here, guys, Justin Herbert and Ladd McConkey. Jay, this offensive line does not give Herbert a chance, and I don't think it's going to get any better next week.
No, credit to Justin Herbert. Like, he's still standing in the pocket. He is not rattled by the pass rush or anything. It's just that he just doesn't have a chance. And this offense, this team is the epitome of just doing enough to get these wins. But I think that yesterday said a lot about where the Chiefs are at the moment. So just it's not fertile fantasy ground in Los Angeles right now.
No, it is not. I can't imagine. I don't know that there's anyone you feel good about starting on this Chargers offense.
I would play Hampton next week.
Yeah.
Against Dallas. It's Dallas, I believe, right?
That's fair enough. But 5th straight game for under 15 fantasy points for Justin Herbert. Since week 10, he's QB 30 on a points per game basis. And Ladd McConkey, under 5 fantasy points in 3 of the last 4. Like, it's just...
No, it's not pretty.
It is a tough scene in Charger land.
Not pretty either for Ashton Jeanty. We've said that too many times this year. They get blown out by the Eagles, Matthew, and no production for him.
Since week 11, he's got 1 game with more than 35 rushing yards. Their offensive line is just getting blown up. The play calling just isn't there. Like, they've got to blow up the whole thing. Yeah, it's just tough with Jeanty. I mean, they were on the road to the Eagles, especially, by the way, they're at Houston next week. Like, it's done. You're not doing anything. You're literally not starting. I guess probably Brock Bowers, you still have to start, but whatever. Tyrone McMillan had a tough game, career low in fantasy points here, in what should have been a good matchup, but it's the 3rd straight game with 2 or fewer receptions. Like, this is why I think Tirico is somebody that you can't really trust and necessarily isn't going to win Rookie of the Year. And finally, tough game for Phillip Rivers as well, because Tyler Warren just didn't get it there. Back-to-back games with under 5 fantasy points, 3 straight games with under 25 25 receiving yards. We'll talk more about Tyler Warren next week, but man, oh man, like, I thought Phillip Rivers with kind of a shot arm would at least get the ball to Tyler Warren. That didn't happen, guys.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and Rotoworld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.